Lots of people nickname their mothers. I've heard some good ones over the years. Dragon Lady, Medusa, She Who Shall Not Be Named. And while on the surface, these names seem insulting, to me, they're kind of badass. After all, no one, and I mean no one, gets run over by the speed train of life when their nickname stems from a mythical creature with snakes for hair and the ability to turn men into stone with death ray eyes. My own mother does not have snakes for hair, but she does have a nickname. Margaret always means business. She does not suffer fools lightly. The last time I visited Graceland, I almost bought her an Elvis taken care of business necklace, but then I reminded myself that while I wouldn't shrink from wearing a cheaply faux gold necklace with a lightning streak on it likely to turn my neck green, my mom was probably too classy for that. She's also pure authority. The day Margaret earned her nickname has lost its fine details. It happened long before the days of cell phone recordings, which is a shame because I'm fairly sure it would have been a Game of Thrones level throwdown. In my mother's opinion, my middle sister had been treated unfairly by a teacher's aide at school. And while those details are blurred as well, what we all remember is when Margaret took on the teacher's aide with the wrath of Genghis Khan. There was a raised finger in the air, there was a death ray stare, and she said, "Now you listen to me." And that was the day that Margaret became the Marge-inator. It was a nickname that summed up her ability to be tough, shut down conflict, and basically win at life. I am no Marge-inator. I am mother to a 4-year-old little girl who has the verbal capacity of an intimidating 6-year-old and a deep affinity for the movie Annie. Jane knows all the dance moves and dialogue. She pretends that she has a dog named Sandy who lives under her bed. This is slightly creepy at night, when she carries on detailed conversations with Sandy and the other orphans in a similar vein to aggressive union negotiations. "Sandy, me and the girls want to have potatoes tonight. And if me and the girls don't get potatoes tonight, you don't get potatoes tonight." And so it goes. When we first moved into our current apartment, it was perfect. It had a quaint balcony, a fireplace, and a view of trees and the pool. The only downside was the elderly woman living downstairs. Every week she complained to management about the club-footed child who lived upstairs. At the time, Jane spent 5 days a week at school and every other weekend with her father. Clearly, the gross time total of clubfoot activity was minimal at best, but not to mention that Jane weighed less than 25 pounds at the time. Nevertheless, whether Jane was home or not, the complaints continued. After several calls from the apartment manager, who was apologetic and trying to be diplomatic in a situation that had all the explosive potential of the Yalta Conference, I decided to talk to the lady downstairs. We watched Annie twice, donned our bathing suits, and on our way to the pool, we pecked on her door. She opened it, gazed down at Jane, and rolled her eyes. It wasn't a casual eye roll. It was a disgusted, "I smell rotten eggs" eye roll. Initially, I intended to be polite, but that fell by the wayside with the eye roll felt round the globe, and the spirit of the Marge-inator came upon me. And my eyes dilated into 2 small pinpoints, and I crooked my finger in the air and gave her the death stare and said, "Now you listen to me." I can't tell you the words that followed. I was too angry, and I don't remember. But I do know that the old lady never complained about Jane again. Afterwards, Jane and I went to the pool. "Mommy," Jane asked as she paddled around. "What?" I answered. "That was a mean lady," she stated, pounding the water with her little fist for emphasis. "She's a grumpy lady," I agreed. Jane wrapped her arms around my neck and spoke directly into my face with breath that smelled like stale goldfish crackers. And then she gave me my nickname. "I love you, Miss Hannigan." And although pregnancy, postpartum depression, nights of pacing the floor with a colicky baby, and a divorce that propelled me into single motherhood had, no doubt, made me feel like a real mother, earning a mom nickname somehow made things official. It may not be as cool as the Marge-inator. It may not allude to a mythical woman with snakes for hair, but in Jane's toddler mind, Miss Hannigan takes care of business, and so does her mother. It's the pinnacle of my maternal journey to date. I'm sure one day I'll be propped up in a nursing home, wearing a cheap lightning bolt taking care of business necklace, and I hope Jane visits me, kisses me on the forehead, and says, "I'll see you tomorrow, Miss Hannigan." Anyone who hears might feel sorry for me. They might think that's a pretty rough nickname for an old mom. But I will love it. There is great childhood comfort in knowing that your mother can slay the dragons that might scare you. And there's great joy in being a mother who's able to, even if the dragons are small ones who live downstairs and sport blue hair.